Let me ask you this. If youth are indeed the future, why do you think we have such a hard time hearing what they have to say?
Existing resources and programs for youth of color here in the Denver metro area, while well-intentioned, often fall short.
One major barrier to genuinely and consistently integrate youth voice and leadership is that organizations, coalitions, and businesses seek to drive social change efforts, typically focusing their capacity on specializing in their focus area.
Be it education, climate change, economic prosperity, health, and so forth. While focusing on any of these areas is powerful, they often fail to equitably and actively involve youth in their own development and the development of their communities.
PV has been so internal for these last, maybe year or two, right?
And that may have affected our stance or our perspective on the community.
And along the way, we've had some bumps and bruises.
COVID happened.
I think the pressures that young people are feeling are deeply impacting their well-being.
We lost the space that we had had at the start of the pandemic due to rising commercial real estate, and that's been an incredible challenge. But the needs don't change at the core. We are very much a transformational youth leadership development organization.
Like the transformative leadership development that we're committed to requires, I think, different worldviews than what we're given.
Sometimes we just get caught up with one way of thinking and one way of just being.
If we're going to teach these young people or give these young people tools to be leaders, we also have to make sure we're not contributing to the burnout or the bad tax.
Like, if the movements to liberate us are killing us, then what is the point?
Whereas we can expand that to a more healthier, broader horizon of what things could be.
There are so many people that are doing this collective healing, not just in Project VOYCE, but outside of Project VOYCE. And so our youth are going to get it regardless, right?
The amount of pressures that young people face and are asked to navigate increases. The numbers of spaces that they're allowed to be themselves, their whole selves, show up to in interconnected ways are decreasing.
And so when they come to PV, they know that they're going to be able to get that. And so why not get it from people that care and people that are really invested in it? We pay our youth stipends for participating. I think that's so important because our youth are pulled in so many different directions. And so being able to pay them a stipend helps them be able to still attend Project VOYCE and still be able to do everything else that they're doing.
And so at Project VOYCE, I think we have a unique opportunity to really open up safety, a safer space for young people to explore who they are through their struggles, and also to really meet young people where they're at. And I think that's a really powerful way of resisting also.
What keeps me coming back into PV is the amount of internalized growth that I've been able to make.
I feel like Project VOYCE has done a lot of work to increase the skills that I have for other organizations and the knowledge that I can bring to other organizations.
I see so many of the same youth that are part of the PV family come back and bring friends. And so I think like just the fact that Project VOYCE is getting more and more young people from young people, I think that is one of the most beautiful impacts that these changes have brought.
You know, ultimately we want very similar things like the adults in the room and the youth.
I know a lot of young people, including myself, didn't know how to navigate racism or adultism before joining Project VOYCE, and just equipping us with like the language so that we can leverage the different parts of our identities.
Sometimes if you don't have the language or the words, you're like fumbling. But when they come through Project VOYCE, they get those things. And so once you have language and words, you can go toe to toe with anybody.
We need leaders in our communities, and you don't just get them, like they need to be taught.
If you have a culturally aware leader and it's transformative, they will be able to take their knowledge and tools that they get from Project Voice to their communities and be able to make change within their communities.
Because we want to have youth that are not afraid to make social change, to make waves, and to feel like they have the skills and opportunities to be what they can and to be their best selves.
It's the grounding in equitable youth-adult partnerships, meaning
our liberation is tied up together, and we honestly need each other. Rather than I'm the expert or you're the expert, we both have parts to play, and that's equity.
And it's that spark of coming together that if we can set off these sparks, plant these seeds, that's how you'll have youth voice actually integrated, respected.
However, this is merely a stepping stone in our journey, leaving us eagerly invested in the work that lies ahead.
Our commitment remains firm in providing transformative youth leadership, development, and creating a platform for equitable youth-adult partnerships for Black, Indigenous, and other people of color.
Empowering them to actively shape their communities and foster transformative change while nurturing a value-aligned infrastructure rooted in collective healing and liberation.
Our programs contribute to lasting systemic change because our participants and alumni have a clear sense of who they are, what they offer, and how to hold the boundaries that protect their health and well-being while in the fight for social change.